And are you refreshed?
Yes.
Good. Now what? They're supposed to become fewer and fewer and fewer.
Well, before I came, I thought of what reasons I'd be coming here. And I kind of immediately thought of healing. And there were two things I thought. One is in my work. At the end of the day, I end up drained mentally, physically, emotionally. And I have one question involving that. And that is how do you differentiate on whether it's your attitude?
Because it always is.
It always is, okay. Because I start out the day telling myself, okay, this is going to be an easy day. I already know all this. But the work I do reminds me of I think everybody's seen it, the Lucille Ball thing where all the chocolates come. And so it's kind of problem solving all day long. And usually at some point, I ask myself, well, am I doing what I really should be doing? Or is this really that difficult? Or is it my own attitude getting in the way? So I guess that's my first question.
Well, when you're standing in the middle of something that feels overwhelming, you almost just have to play it out, because once the overwhelming situation has actualized in your experience, it's an indication of a vibration that has accommodated that for a while, and you can't just all of a sudden turn on a dime and feel not overwhelmed. It's like a vicious circle almost. I feel overwhelmed and therefore I am. And now I feel it, I'm more overwhelmed. And because I'm overwhelmed, more overwhelmment comes. So the time to break that cycle is not in the middle of the feeling of overwhelmment. It's when you put yourself in your bed at night. So you put yourself in your bed at night and you relax into the comfort of your bed. And if you can, find some things to appreciate even about your work. And we know there are many. In other words, you're appreciating the opportunity and the employment and much of the collaboration and co-creation. So what happens is when you're not faced with the overwhelmment or even faced with the parts of it that are irritating, and in the privacy of your own mind and in the privacy of your own bed, you are selecting with the intent of appreciating, selecting the aspects of it that are easy to appreciate. What happens is you tune your own vibration. That's why when you said how much of it is attitude, and we say all of it, because as you tune yourself deliberately when it's easy, like when you're not there, what happens is that tuning then holds a little longer when you are there. So then the next day goes a little better. Then the next night you tune yourself again. The next day goes a little better. The next day,
pre-tuning then.
We call it pre-paving, realigning. It's about activating within yourself the aspects of your work that you most like. You see, most people offer their vibration predominantly because of what they are observing. So you observe good things at work, and you observe not good things at work. You observe being productive, you observe being overwhelmed, you are observing all of it, but you're letting work as it is tune your vibration. So now you feel like you have no control because you observed it and it tuned you, but now you're tuned, you're getting more of it. So somehow you have to break loose of that tuning and tune it another way.
So then even if it does become overwhelming, I won't feel overwhelmed?
You won't feel as overwhelmed at first, and eventually the overwhelmment can't come. Okay. In other words, it's sort of what we were getting at earlier, that when you're consistently in the vortex, then only in the vortex like things can come to you. The universe will just make the ornery one stay home that day, or have the ornery one find a new best friend, or in other words, you only the things that are so let's talk about this active vibration. In this attraction-based universe, there is no assertion. So nothing can assert itself into your experience. Our friend earlier, we didn't comment it on the time, but we want to now. He used brilliant words as he was talking about the brilliance of the light of the spirit within, looking for its matching reflection. Did you hear him say that? And what he was getting at, that matching reflection, is what's tuned within you. So there's stuff you don't want that could match your reflection, and there's stuff that you do want that could match. But it's your job to tune yourself so that what's active in you only matches the stuff you want.
Okay.
So when you are at work and something happens, you have a step one moment, which causes you to put a better, improved situation in your vortex. So let's say that the work's coming at you too fast, and you can't eat the chocolates as fast as they're falling off the conveyor belt. So Esther thinks she could, though. So as you're feeling that overwhelmment, with all of that, you are throwing things into your vibrational escrow that are causing you to expand, that you are, in your overwhelmment, not a vibrational match to. So we are submitting to you that it's not, what's bothering you isn't more work than you can do, although it feels like that's what it is. What's bothering you is that place made you expand, and you haven't caught up with the expansion. And the expansion isn't about how much you can do and how much you can move on the conveyor belt, so to speak. The expansion is about whether you can consistently or not tune yourself to this expanded vibration that is you. If you can get that we were real strong about it earlier when we said you're not sad because somebody you love died, and that's about as heavy as we can get on that subject. You're not sad because they died. You're sad because you're not in alignment. In other words, very often that person might have been a conduit to help you to align.
So in other words, no matter what happens at work, it wouldn't matter if I was aligned.
Well stated, at first. And then if you stay aligned, now
what I want to happen will happen.
Now you never again say, no matter what happens at work, because in chronic alignment, only good stuff could then happen around you.
Okay, I get it.
One who's connected to the stream is more powerful than a million who are not. Your power of influence, your ability to guide is huge when you're in the vortex, you see.